All right. All right, I'm back after some technical difficulties there. I am back. I think I've got everything working properly, so I will be able to continue on. But unfortunately, I do have to do the opening again. I I'm under contractual obligations to play this. So
Hello?
Hello.
all right, hey, I think I got everything going right. Some technical difficulties earlier, but I think everything's I think everything's worked out. If not, we'll see. What can I do if if things go a little haywire here? Um, that's the way it goes. But anyway, um, so first of all, uh, there's been a death in Vrindavan, and I want to report it like kind of like it's news. Um, and I'm not here to disparage anybody or criticize anybody or anything like that. I just want to talk about as a news event. So I'm getting this news from. Um, Originally, I got it from this Hare Krishna webpage here, and then I researched it myself a little bit, not much, and I went to a Facebook page where um, I got some more information, and I wanted to show you. So I went to this webpage and I found a little bit more information about this, and so I don't want to name any names because they didn't give me. I'm just reporting this, but I want to read from this that was posted on the internet, and this is the source of it. Um, okay, it says. It is deeply disturbing and disheartening to learn that Sri Vinod Prabhu, a disciple of His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj, was brutally murdered at his residence in Radhakunda, Vrindavan, yesterday afternoon. So this is about a week ago. This happened about, it says yesterday afternoon, and this was posted a few days, 5 days ago. So about 6 days ago, almost a week ago. It says Sri Vinod Prabhu had been residing in Radhakund for some time, quite some time, and was well known and respected among the local devotees. According to reports, during a heavy downpour that lasted for around 3 hours, a group of dacoits broke into his house. They tied him up mercilessly, took his life, and looted gold, jewelry belonging to his deities, along with silver utensils used in worship. The police investigation is currently underway, and this is the information available so far. His body has been sent for post-mortem, and the final rites are expected to take place later today once it's handed over to his family. Hearing this news last night from a friend was truly shocking. Radhakunda, known as one of the holiest places, is home to many sincere devotees who have renounced worldly life to live peacefully and perform their devotional practices. Incidents like this raise serious concerns about their safety and the lack of basic security in the holy dham. Nearby residents are now gripped with fear and wondering how safe they truly are even in such a sacred environment. It is heartbreaking to think that a devotee who chose to live at Radhakund simply to serve the Lord could lose his life like this. Even in the dham, the lives of innocent devotees are at risk from the greed and cruelty of such miscreants. May Sri Mati Radharani protect all the devotees riding in the holy dham, and may the Lord deliver strict justice to those responsible for this heinous act. We hope that the authorities will take swift and strong action to ensure the safety of devotees and increase security in sacred places like Radhakund. This tragic event is a wake-up call and must not go unanswered. So yes, it is. It is a shame. It's a tragedy. It's a total tragedy. This could have happened to anybody. We don't know if he was targeted. Um, no one will know if he was targeted specifically. He was tied up and murdered. If it was just a robbery for some gold, for some little gold pieces of gold and some silver that he had, he's a holy man and he's got, he basically doesn't have anything except this little thing, and they tied him up and killed him for that. I don't know. That sounds a little like extreme for just a robbery like that. I mean, now it's murder. Why would you? I'm sure if they had just threatened him, he may have just given it to them. I don't know. So I don't know. I'm not saying he was targeted at all. That's not what I'm trying to say. It just sounds a little extreme for a holy man that's in his little bhajan kutir at Radhakund to be, ruthlessly murdered like that. It is shocking. It's totally shocking. So I don't know. I mean, we never know, what's going on. The police may find out, and when the police find out, if they find out, they can, say what's going on if they catch these guys that did this. But India is a dangerous place. Radhakund is a dangerous place. Vrindavan can be a dangerous place. I mean, I'm not going to say dangerous place, but it can be. It can be, especially for women. Women traveling alone, definitely. If you're a woman and you're traveling alone, and you're going to Vrindavan, or you're living in Vrindavan, it may seem all nice and happy and Hare Krishna at first, but it's not. I mean, obviously, look what happened to this guy. This, and I'm sure this guy. I'm not sure because I don't know this guy at all. I don't know the details, but he probably didn't deserve this. He probably did not deserve that. I don't think he probably didn't deserve anything. He's just a guy in a hut doing his thing, right? That's what I'm assuming. He's just a guy. He's just like a devotee, and he's got some gold and some silver in there. I mean, is that what they heard? Is it they heard that he had some? Hey, this guy's got some gold and silver in there. Maybe they made a mistake. Maybe he did have a lot of gold and silver and money, cash. I don't know. It just seems very ruthless over some jewelry that he had for his deities. I don't know. But then it goes on, and someone says here, I want to read what someone posted about this because I don't want to see anybody murdered like that. Even if he's a disciple of one of Prabhupada's godbrothers, or godbrother's disciple of a disciple. I don't know. But anyway, he's in the cult. He's definitely in the cult, but he still doesn't deserve to die like that. I mean, it says here, heartbreaking. So this devotee is saying, heartbreaking. I spent some quality time with him in his bhajan kutir. He was an amazing devotee, keeping a very humble profile and had a high social integrity. He did daily Govardhan parikram and was absorbed in many other bhakti angas. Many devotees, including many of my godbrothers, took benefit of his association. I regret not having spent more time with him. Radharani personally appeared to him from the holy waters of Radhakund in her deity form. He was blessed in countless ways. There is no reason to be worried about him. He is in good hands. We need to make sure this doesn't happen again. Devotees are advised not to have precious items in their houses. Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada said this also. We can offer gold, etc., in our minds. We can offer gold in our minds. You don't have to have the gold. Just in your mind, you can offer gold. So, by the same token, I can just chant in my mind. Hold on a second. Okay, there. I just chanted some rounds, so I'm good. He says that we can offer gold, etc., in our minds if needed. However, we also need to make sure that the locals are better protected from the dacoits. Vinod Prabhu was an ex-army person, and the traces indicate that he didn't leave without a good fight. Let that fight ignite a big fire of self-defense, self-empowerment amongst the locals. Defense power comes through fearlessness, numbers, and immediate local response systems. I think he's talking about vigilantes. As a partial kshatriya with martial arts training and defense strategy insights, I have some ideas. So it sounds like he wants to do like what was that thing in New York? The angel something. The berets, the red berets or something. They had, and they were like a gang fighting. It was a gang fighting gang, and they would go out and they were supposed to be protecting the streets until the leader got arrested and indicted for I don't know what he got indicted for. So he says, I have some defense strategy insights. I have some ideas. PM me if you want to collaborate and contribute. So if you want to be part of my gang, see this as a seva to the Sri Dham and Dhammavasis. Yeah. We miss you terribly, Vinod Prabhu. I was planning to spend more time with you. Kindly leave your legacy in our hearts and bless us to become true Vraj Upasakas. Okay, so it is a shame that I want to see anyone get killed over this cult. I'm not saying the cult was responsible for him. The cult had nothing to do with this, but maybe some of his choices in life that he made based on what this cult is teaching him or what his guru told him to do may have put him through circumstances that contributed to him ending up where he did, time and place. But that's anything can happen to anybody anywhere, really. But the fact that it happened to him in the Holy Dham under the protection of Radharani and Krishna and Nrsingadev and all these things is really kind of, I don't understand how that happens according to their philosophy, because he's chanting, he's following for all of those things. He has the protection of, he's living at the Radhakund, on the banks of the Radhakund, and he's chanting and worshiping Radha Krishna, all of these things, and Lord Nrsingadev is there, and he should be, and then this horrible thing happens. So that is that I don't that Vrindavana is full of criminal organizations, drugs, prostitution everywhere, including gay, trans prostitution. It's very dangerous. Yeah, absolutely. Now, I've been to Vrindavan many times. In fact, last time I was there was just a couple of years ago, and the year before that, and the year before that. And I don't know where I don't know where there's drugs and alcohol and all that stuff, because I slip in, I visit my friend who lives on the outskirts of Vrindavan, and then I slip in, I hang out, I visit him. Last time I went, I didn't even go into Vrindavan at all, really. We went on the other side of the river to places I've never been, and I've been going there since 1996. So he was taking me places I'd never been. We'd cross the river and off into farmland and just to villages I'd never seen. I mean, I'd never been there before. So we would go off and do that, spend a day visiting this place and that place and just whatever. And it had nothing to do with ISKCON, had nothing to do with any cult or anything. It was just me and my girlfriend and my Indian friend. And we would just go off and just in his little thing, and we would just go off and just take pictures and video, whatever, and have a great time, and then end up going back. And I didn't even go into Vrindavan hardly at all, because compared to where I was and doing that stuff, Vrindavan's like crowded and dirty and dusty and crowded and noisy and why am I gonna? I've done all that and there's nothing there that I want to do really, because I'm not a Hare Krishna, so there's nothing for me to do there. So I just visit with my friend in his neighborhood and then go off and do stuff that has nothing to do with Hare Krishna at all. Has nothing to do with them at all. So I don't even know where the prostitution, the drugs, the gay, trans, I don't know where any of that is happening. I mentioned to my friend one time, I said, I hear that there's like a lot of prostitution here in Vrindavan. I didn't know. I heard that there was like prostitution in Vrindavan, like if there was like a red light district. I don't know what. I just heard like, oh yeah, there's a lot of women getting busted for prostitution in Vrindavan. There's a lot of prostitution going on. I heard that, and asked my friend. I asked my friend. I said, is there prostitution going on here? Like, are there? And he said, he goes, yeah, you want one? You want? And I was like, no, I just had no idea. I had no idea, because it's not like there's Sunset Boulevard or or like girls on Crenshaw or whatever, King Henry or anything. There's no like strip clubs or any nightclubs or anything that you would even think that would house prostitution. But I know there is, but I don't know where. I don't know. Or drugs. I wouldn't even know where. And I've been in Vrindavan and I've actually seen needles, and I didn't know if it was like diabetes or if it was like drug users. And I assumed it was drug users because I'd heard that shit goes on, but I'd never seen. I just don't know where. And I know there's a lot of like land mafias and that type of thing, and business mafias. Like if you want to own a business or open up a shop or something like that, there's a lot of shady stuff going on. Let's see, what is this? What are you saying here? Let me see. I gotta get caught up on this. This is great because this is where I get to learn shit that I didn't know, or I get shit confirmed that I only thought was happening. Then I get confirmation. So he says the monks at Radhakunj ashram do drugs. One devotee that is doing service sneaks out to grab wine. Yeah, so that was the thing, my friend. So I hadn't been to Vrindavan in years, and like almost like a long time, like 10 years. Over 10 years I hadn't been to Vrindavan. I hadn't seen my friend, anything. So when I went in 2022, he told me, he goes, oh, they have alcohol shops have opened up all over, and we have like drunks laying around. And I was like, oh. And sure enough, there's like these little booze wallas or whatever you want to call. I don't know what you want to call it. Little booze walla, little shops, and where they sell alcohol and beer. I don't know if they sell beer. They sell beer, alcohol, wine, whatever. They sell alcohol, and you see people passed out right there on the streets, just passed out on the street. It's like, and I was shocked at that. I was shocked that they were just selling alcohol. There's little alcohol shops, and people just passed out drunk, just drink and pass out right there on the street. So that And that's not. I don't know. I liked it better when there wasn't drunks, people. Indians just passed out on the road, just passed out on the on the road, laying on the side of the road. India is a beautiful country full of awesome food and culture. In fact, Indians there hate the Hare Krishnas big time. Yeah, it's a lot of them. A lot of them don't like the Hare Krishnas, but wherever the Hare Krishnas are, they do get a big. They do draw in Indians that come that are not Hare Krishnas that come in because they're just respectful and they're just like, oh, those are Hare Krishnas, they're clueless as well as to. There's a big segment of, I guess, even in India where they're clueless to these people, and I don't know how. I don't know how they can be so clueless, or they're connected, or they're somehow they do know. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to understand. Real estate mafia is bad. The real estate mafia, taxi mafia, shop mafia type thing. It's just it's Asia. It's Asia, but I don't organize that. I don't know. But what I'm trying to say though, what I am trying to say is, it can be a dangerous place, especially your first time. If your first time there, you never traveled anywhere, you're going to India. Okay, hold on. But if even if you've been to India many times, it can still be a challenging adventure. It can be challenging even for adventurous people. I've seen a lot of these YouTubers who they're influencers or whatever, and they go around the world to different cities, and they're in India, and they're like, "Hey, I'm in India," and next thing you know, it's like they're having a bad time. Okay, they're having a really bad time. They're being chased by taxi drivers because they ripped them off, or they feel like they get ripped off, or whatever, or there's some shop owner, or some person on the street, or they're just being followed, or they're being watched, or they feel uncomfortable, and there's so many of these videos of people, and then of course the women. I Let me just tell you, if you're a woman and you're thinking about traveling to India by yourself, think again. Seriously, think again. Okay, go with somebody, go in a group, go with a tour. Don't just go off by yourself. Just, I don't care. I don't care how many times you've been. I don't care if you've been on an African safari by yourself. I don't care if you've been to the pyramids by yourself. I don't care if you've been. I don't care where you've been by yourself. India is a whole nother world. It's like you landed. It's like you landed on another planet. Okay, so uh, unless you've been to India, there ain't no place on earth like it. As far as what you're going to have to go through. So I would, if my advice to any woman out there, Hare Krishna or not, Hare Krishna. Oh my God. But if you're just this is a woman and you're traveling to India by yourself, man, be careful, okay? And I'm not trying to talk shit about India or anything like that. I'm just trying to be honest, man. I'm just trying to be downright honest. Be careful. Go in a group. Go with a tour. Go with some friends in a group, and even in a group with some friends, if they're not experienced and they've never been to India before, man, you're all you're all in for a surprise. But um, yeah, it can be a dangerous. It can be a challenging. I don't want to say dangerous. I mean, every place is dangerous by that standard. Um, it can be challenging, very, very challenging. I mean, if you're not used to like a cold shower in the morning, or just having a hard time, just like getting sick. I mean, every possible thing can go wrong. I mean, you talk about out of towners, man. That's that's an understatement. So that's my warning. India is a dangerous place. Radhakund, Vrindavan, and the Radhakund. Radhakund is a dangerous place too. You think it's like, oh, it's the holiest place, it's the spiritual place, it's this and that. Man, it's India. It's India. And you think if you've never been there before and you're going there for the first time, and it doesn't matter where you're from, and you're going and you're reading Prabhupada's books, you got an idea of the Radhakund, you got a vision, a picture of it. You need to rethink that picture. You need to look it up on the internet, and you need to look at those pictures of the Radhakund, and you need to look at village, and that's what you're in for. Okay, it's not what Prabhupada makes it out to be. What it excuse me. The the picture that he paints of Vrindavan is, the flowers are blooming and the hummingbirds are humming and everything, and the peacocks are wah, and everything's wonderful and it's beautiful and the rainbows are everywhere, and the chirping of the birds and even all that. And if you've never been there and you've never seen anything, and you get this reinforced idea of what Vrindavan is and Krishna and Radha and Krishna, and then you get there and it is like this. That's culture shock. Um, and you're not, and if you're not ready for the cold shower, the bucket, and all this stuff. Okay, wiping your ass with your hand, or you know, monkey stealing your food and your glasses and everything that you could possibly own, and who knows what's going to happen, but something's going to happen. So, what's the worst thing can happen? I don't know. End up getting murdered in your hut for your jewelry by some by some guys. Now, I don't know why this guy. I mean, there's so much going on there, like what this guy's saying, what Howard Johnson is saying. He's saying, there's real estate mafia and there's shop mafia, taxi mafia. There's all kinds of just you got to be careful. Like you get into the wrong taxi, or piss off the wrong taxi driver, or something. Things can happen, and you never know. You just never know what can happen. So you gotta be ready for that. So we don't know if, and I'm not saying anything happened with this guy. It could have been just wrong place at the wrong time. Absolutely wrong place at the wrong time. But there's so much going on there that it is possible that maybe he was involved in something. We don't know. These Hare Krishna, what we do know is that these Hare Krishna cults are involved in a lot of stuff. They are involved in a lot of drugs and prostitution and land schemes and landlord schemes and who knows what. That goes on all over the world. And child molestation and covering stuff up. That goes on all over the world, not just India, not just North America, not just wherever. It goes on all over. India is a very dangerous and corrupt country. It is a dangerous place. It's a dangerous country to travel to if you're not an experienced traveler, and if you're traveling alone, it can be a very dangerous place. Now, when I traveled there alone, the first time I went with some people that had been before. So the first time I went, it was everybody that was going there, they'd been, and they told me about it, and they kind of guided me along, and I was like, oh, don't go out of my sight. Then the next time I went back by myself. I had made friends there with some Vrijabasis that lived there. They weren't Hare Krishnas, but they were local people that lived there. So I made friends with them. The next time I went back, I went by myself with my daughter, because I was thinking I'm a Hare Krishna and Krishna's protecting me and the Shringadev and all of this stuff, and I'm just going to go. But I had friends there. So once I got there, I had friends, I had a connection, I had someone there that there's no way I would just go and just take my daughter there all by myself, on my own, first time going to India, not walking off the plane, not knowing anybody. Oh. And we got hassled in the airport when I took my daughter. Like, they looked at her passport, and they looked at her, and they looked at me, and they looked at my passport, and they said, we want to talk to you guys. And they pulled us over, and they talked to us, and they separated us. They separated my daughter at the airport. They took her into a room. And I'm like, hey, she's 11 years old. What are you doing? And of course, they had a bunch of guns, and there was nothing I could do. There was female army with her, but they just took her in there just to ask her some questions. Is that your dad? they thought I was smuggling. They thought I was smuggling her into the country or whatever. They thought I was up to something, and so And then after like 5 minutes or so, it seemed like an hour, but it, it was only 5 minutes. Oh my God, it seemed like an hour. It was only 5 minutes. They came out with her and they're like, okay, you can go. And then they stamped our passports and whatever, a signed thing. We were on our way. But for that 5-10 minutes that whole thing was going on, I was kind of like freaking out, like, oh my God, what are they going to do with us? What's going to happen? You know, and then they separated us. I'm like, what's going to happen to my daughter? Where's she going? Am I ever going to see her again? I was totally freaking out. So that happens to you, you're going to be freaking out too. I guarantee it. It's not a fun situation. And that was 30 years ago. I can't imagine what they do, what it would be like now. But so I don't know what happened with this guy. I feel sorry for him and his family. You know, a tragedy that he lost his life in Vrindavana at the Radha Kund. I'm not even gonna use him as an example for anything. It's a tragedy, and that's it. And then I'm gonna move on. It's just it's a shame. It's a shame, and it's a warning to people out there that, you know, you go into India, you're going to the Radha Kund, or you're going to Vrindavan. It's a challenging, dangerous situation. And I remember when I was there with my daughter, we would take this shortcut we were renting a house. I was renting a house. She wasn't renting. I was renting the house. My daughter was just, I wasn't charging her rent or anything. I was renting this house, and it was like a 5-minute walk, like straight on this path. You know, the straightest, most direct path was like 5-minute walk from our house to the temple. And we walked that every day. And we were there for 2 months. We'd walk that every day. And then one day, either the neighbor or my friend or someone came and said, "Hey, you shouldn't be walking that way. That's not safe to walk that way." And I'm thinking, it's not safe. I'm a 5-minute walk from the temple. What's going to happen? And he's like, no. You need to walk the other way. You need to hang a left, walk 2 little things down, and hang a right, and go all the way down, and then hang another right and walk back, which made it like a 10-minute walk instead of a 5-minute walk, like more than 10-minute walk now. It's like triple the distance, because he's like, something's gonna happen to you. He's like, I don't want something to happen to you. Something happens to you, he's like, what am I gonna do? Something's gonna happen to you. You and your daughter walking down that path. He's like, that's a dangerous place. And I had no idea. It looked safe to me. And he's like, no. You gotta go. He goes, don't let me ever catch you walking down that path. And now they built this whole big school there. You can't even take that shortcut anymore. It was a little shortcut. It was a little shortcut. But he's like, don't ever let me catch you walking through that shortcut ever again. And I said, okay. Okay. And then there was another area that was down by, it was on the road to Mathura. It was on that Mathura road, but there's like a section of it where he said, this is he told me, he goes, this is a dangerous place. So be careful if you're ever walking around, because he knew I like to walk around. You know, I was like, I'd walk here, walk there, walk all over the place. That's why he was always telling me, you're walking down a dangerous place, and I can't have you to. So we were out riding, and we're on that Mathura road between Vrindavan and Mathura, and we're out near, I don't remember, like near the Puggle Baba temple or something, somewhere. And he goes, this area right here? He goes, don't come down here. This is not a safe area to come walking around. So I was like, oh, I mean, I didn't know. I thought it was, hey, it's Vrindavan. It's Vrindavan. We're all chanting Hare Krishna. Everybody's chanting Hare Krishna, and the monkeys and the cows and everything, the peacocks and everything. No. So anybody out there that's that you don't know, it's your first time, you're planning a trip or whatever, I'm telling you, okay, be careful. It's best to go with someone the first time, with a tour or group or something. Just be careful. especially at the Radhakund, and especially Govardhan Hill. You gotta be careful at those places. You read Prabhupada's books, and it's like, these are like transcendental places with, and filled with Hare Krishna and the holy name and devotees and doing this. Yeah, they are there, but you know, Govardhan Hill is like Venice Beach or something, right? You don't know what you're gonna run into when you go to Govardhan Hill. It's a big, giant place, and different little villages, around there, and Radhakund is there, and all, different places. And last time I went, it was all built up. It was like I didn't even recognize it. I was like, "Where are we?" And he's like, "This is Govardhan." I was like, "This is Govardhan. This is Govardhan." I was like, "Wow, okay, this is Govardhan." Okay, yeah, just be careful if you're going there. You Hare Krishnas that are watching my video, just be careful when you're going there. It's a lot of fun. It's exciting. It's an adventure. It's definitely a place that you can visit. I wouldn't go there as a cult member. I wouldn't go there as a brainwashed cult member, because then that's a recipe for disaster. But if you're there and you're planning a trip there, just be careful. Okay, just be careful. So let me see what else I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you. I think I got a little knitting cult lady. She's my favorite cult expert, and I'd have to share something. Try to share something that she says every show, because she's got great stuff to say. And this has to do. The reason I'm playing this is because it relates to Hare Krishna. It relates to Krishna cults, book distribution, and all the work and what they call devotional service. So that's why because it's all the same stuff. It's all the same stuff. So here we go with the knitting cult lady. Let's see.
And this, by the way, is a big, big problem in what I call mission-based career fields.
Oops.
Music called Gigi, which this started off as a innocent little thing, but then
Whoops.
Okay, so this is about the cult of the waning star or wanting star. I'm still not even sure what this deal is on TikTok, but I want to point
because I messed it up. I apologize.
And this,
Here
by
you go.
the way, is a big, big problem in what I call mission-based career fields. The comment says, when is it a crime to be paid for our time? Because someone was just mocking me for doing this for money. I'm in a career that has the stigma that I should just do it for the love of it, not necessarily be paid for it. And by the way, we mostly find women in those kinds of jobs, and we mostly only see this kind of blowback against women making money. But in mission-based jobs, nonprofits really fall into that. Hey, shh. I'm sorry that Donald Trump is yelling at Pete Kegsbreath over the parade, but I mean, Kegsbreath deserves it, bro. I told you it was a silly thing. Sorry, the dogs are Republican. All right, so mission-based jobs, right? Nonprofits, nursing, medical care, legal, military, all of these jobs where it's a vocation. I've written about this in chapter 3 of The Culting of America, and I call it missionizing, weaponizing the mission. And it's very true in social work too, for example. Anytime employees are asking for better conditions or bringing up critical complaint about their job or the industry, they'll be told, you didn't get into this for the money. One of the best ways you can protect yourself from cult exploitation is by valuing your time and your labor. Don't do it unless you're getting paid. I'm Daniela. I wrote a book called Uncultured about growing up in the Children of God religious cult and then going into the cult of the U.S. Army. I'm a scholar of cults, extreme groups, and extremely bad leadership. You can get signed copies of Uncultured in the shop, because I'm in TikTok jail right now, attached to this video if you're watching me anywhere else, and it's available on Spotify. Also, I'm going to be in New York City on November.
Okay, so I'm not doing a commercial or a promotion for her, but I do think it's very pertinent to what I've been talking about as far as like with the book distribution, pushing the shopping carts around Costco parking lot or the DMV or some shopping center, a shopping cart full of books, and bugging people, what I call a book begging people for money and giving them a book if they give you money. So that's what I'm talking about. And the cult calls it devotional service. They call it devotional service. And they expect you to just do it and not get paid for it. And she's saying right here, don't do it unless you're getting paid. Because this cult wants to exploit you. They want you to do all of these things for free. They want you to do, it was really interesting. The cult always wants you to do something for free, whether it's working in the kitchen, selling books, going out on Sankirtan, building the Rath Yatra carts, which I was helping. I helped Ratnabhushan. I helped him build the Rath Yatra carts. Not like I helped to build the whole thing, but there were days when I would have nothing to do, and I'd go over there, and he'd be trying to get some piece, and I was like, well, I used to do that. I used to work at Rockwell International. I used to build planes. It's the same thing. If I could build a plane, if I know how to build tools to build planes, you don't think I know how to put a Rath Yatra cart together that you're trying to build out of aluminum? I mean, it's not, it doesn't take a genius. So I went over there and I was helping him, and I was telling him, I was going, look, this is what you need to do, man. You want to get this thing done, you got to do this, you got to do that. And some things he understood, some things he didn't understand. But I would go over there and I'd help him. I would do some work for him, actually, because it was like I was donating my time. I was volunteering, helping to build a cart, whatever it is. They want you to do it for free. They don't want to pay you for that. I would have got all the hours that I helped him with that cart. I would have walked away with a couple of $100 if I had been working at Rockwell doing the same thing, doing the exact same thing. I would have been making good money doing that when I was helping him with the cart. Same thing with book distribution. When we'd go out and do Harinam at Venice Beach, and I'd spend a couple of hours out there. If I was working my job, I would have made $30-$40 out there doing that for that time. But no, I was out there doing it all for free. I'm doing all that for free. But when my daughter was molested, and I was trying to figure out if I had enough to hire a lawyer and sue this guy and sue somebody, because the police had failed in prosecuting the guy, and the police were like, well, you can sue him. You can always sue him in civil court. And so I was like, so I was experimenting with that avenue, right? But I didn't even know how. How do I do that? I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a paralegal. I'm nothing. What do I know about that? There's a lawyer at the temple. And I knew the lawyer at the temple because our office was right next to his. I knew the guy for years. See him almost every day. And then all this shit when my daughter broke loose, and he was like, hey, this thing. And so then one day I went to him and I said, hey, I need to find out the next step for me as far as getting a lawyer or what I can do. And he said, I can help you with it. I can write you up a paper, and I can write you up a paper recommending the next step, but it's going to cost you $250. And I said, I don't have $250. I didn't have $250. Not for no lawyer. Not for him to write up a paper, not for him to type up a paper telling me what I'm doing. I have $250 for that. That was crazy. Was he going to do that for me? Was that devotional service for me? Would he give up that fee for me to do devotional service for a Vaishnav? Because my daughter, the Vaishnav, was molested. Was he gonna not charge me $250 to do it on just a devotional service? No. Fuck no, he wasn't gonna do it. He wasn't gonna do it for free. Fuck no, he wasn't gonna do it for free. He said, just for me to tell you what the next step is for you, it's going to be $250. And that's not representing me in court. That's not filing any papers. I'm not doing anything. Just for him to give me some advice as to what my next step was. He wanted $250, like a consultation fee. He couldn't even give me some advice for free. When my daughter was molested and we're Hare Krishnas and we're in the temple and we're both devotees and we're doing this, he couldn't do it like, hey, he couldn't even say, hey, I'll do it, but and you can pay me later. No, he was like, I need the $250 now, and then I can do the stuff. It was like he was fully on lawyer business to do that. I apologize for all the noise going on, but I guess there's some construction just started. But yeah, it was no devotional service for me to be doing anything, for him to be doing anything for me. But when they want me to do something for them, then it's devotional service. Then I have to do it. I should be doing it for free. Oh, it's service, Prabhu. It's service, Prabhu. But when you ask the temple lawyer to help me with something for me, it's not service then. Well, that's not service. That's not devotional service. You're not helping me and my daughter with our devotional life by helping us get justice for her for this molestation, for this creep that's living in 2 buildings over. That shit blows my mind. That's how they think. It's devotional service when they want you to work for them. But if you ask them for something, it's like, oh, you need to focus on your service. You need to focus on your service. You need to do more service. How about you doing some service for me? No, that we can't do. Yeah. Their answer to me is you need to go get a shopping cart and go sell some books out on the street. That's what you need to do. That's their answer to me. Why don't you do some more service? I know your daughter was molested, but we're going out on Sankirtan this afternoon. You want to go to Venice Beach and distribute some books? You can do that. Hey, listen, I'm gonna have to call it quits because they started this construction here, and it's like I can't even figure out what's going on here. The new studio is still under construction, as you can see, as you can hear. There's something going on, so I'm gonna just go ahead and cut it loose. I did want to share that with you about the devotee that lost his life in Vrindavana. It's really sad. My condolences to his family and his friends and everyone. It's really a shame. I'm not saying the cult is to blame for that, although I think maybe some of the choices that he made in life may have led him to living at the Radha Kund. I don't know. I don't want to say that, but it's possible that could have happened. But anyway, my condolences to him and his family. I will pick up, because I have some more stuff I want to talk about, some more stuff I want to show, but I'm going to wait until the end of the day when this construction is over and finished, and then I'll be back. So everybody, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and please have some great luck and stay out of a cult, everybody. Woo. And here we go.